Hi everybody and welcome. I'm Tami. We are in the Nutmeg Notebook kitchen and we're happy to have you here today. Let me see if I can see the chat. Here we go. All right. And I'm not getting the chat yet, Tom. Here we go. Now I've got it. All right. Jesse's here. Tiffany's here. Hello everybody. Happy Wednesday. They do call this hump day, don't they? It does feel like it's the middle of the week, and we are glad that you are here. We're happy to be here, and we've got a lot of things. It's going to be a chat, but we do have a lot of things that we want to mention and talk about. And if you have questions, you can certainly ask those in the chat feed. We just ask that you would preface your question with 3 question marks and end with 3 question marks. That just helps them pop out at us because the chat feed moves really fast, and I'm watching it on my iPad, so I only get like this much of the chat feed at a time, and like right now it's just scrolling. So Tiffany says she wants my flowers. These are from last week. They are a week old and they are still looking beautiful. This was a really good batch. We've been having good luck lately getting very fresh flowers. You know when they start to wilt after 2 days that they were sitting at the store for a while. Lucy says, lovely haircut, Tami. Thank you. I did get quite a bit cut off this last time. I'm anticipating warm weather. It hasn't happened yet. We're waiting. We hope it happens pretty soon. So let's see. Tom's making sure that the sound is going well and that my lips are synced with my voice. And we have quite a few things we want to share with you. I'm going to start with a request from Randy, who is one of our moderators. She is not with us right now. Is it making noise?
Yeah, you're rubbing on the wire.
Don't rub the wire. Okay. I'll try not to rub the wire. Randy Sue is going to Chef AJ's Rancho La Puerta event from July 1st through 8th. That's in Mexico. She is sharing a room with 3 other people. There's a total of 4 people in the room, and one of the people can't go now, and so they're looking for a 4th person to take that spot. It costs $4,029.62 to go from July 1st to July 8th. So you have 7 days. It's a Saturday to a Saturday. That is all inclusive except for your airfare to San Diego. So you fly into San Diego and they take you in a shuttle to the resort. So you do have to pay your own airfare as well. So if you would be interested in doing that, you can direct message her on Facebook Messenger, and it would be Randy Sue, R-A-N-D-I-S-U-E, Randy Sue. So, and she can give you more details or tell you where you can go to find those details. And so I just told her we would mention it in case any of you would like to join her and Chef AJ for that. So we have that going on. Also, I'm going to just check the chat feed here. Tiffany says, it sounds like a beautiful trip. I need to experience that one with Chef AJ. Maybe you want to take that spot. She didn't know she knows there's 2 bedrooms. She didn't know what the bed situation is. I did go on the website to look, and they do have some rooms that have 2 single beds in them. So hopefully that's what it is. I wouldn't want to share like a queen size bed with somebody I didn't know, but that's just me. Okay, so Tiffany says, how was your Easter celebration? It was great. Family. It's a good thing you know me because I would not have shared my bed with you. Or your bed. You smart aleck. We had a great Easter. We had the family over. We did an Easter egg hunt in the backyard with the kids. I was requested, our daughter requested that I do my Falafel Buffet. So that's what I did. If you want to see what that was all about, I posted about it on Facebook, or you can just look up falafel patties on the Nutmeg Notebook website, and I list all the different side dishes. And I came up with a wonderful Greek lemon potato, roasted potatoes with oregano. You could use rosemary too. That was really delicious, and hopefully I can get that posted soon. It was just spur of the moment. I thought, oh, I've got all these potatoes. I should make some wonderful potatoes, Greek potatoes to go with that. What would they be like? Ooh, they would be lemon. They'd be oregano. Let's do it. And then I also made a roasted garlic hummus that was really good. So I just took my regular hummus recipe, but I did oven roasted garlic. I had some in my freezer, threw that in and left out the smoked paprika, and it was really, really good. So that was nice. We spent the whole afternoon in the backyard with the kiddos, and it was an absolutely beautiful day. We really, really lucked out. So how was everybody else's? I saw Tiffany's post on Instagram and Facebook of all the amazing food that she made. I would have loved to have been at her house. It looked spectacular. Macaroni and cheese and just all kinds of scrumptious looking food. So one day I hope to get invited to Tiffany's house. Let's see. We have a question from Hyacinth Henry. Hi Tami, how can I change my eating habits to become plant-based? So I have on the, and maybe Tom, maybe you can post a link to how to get started on a whole food plant-based diet on the blog. Tom, can you hear me? Can you look up on the blog how to get started on a whole food plant-based diet and then put a link in it? So I have a whole blog post about how to get started, and with lots of links to different videos, also links to people who will do consultation, one-on-one consultations. That's also very good for a lot of people in order to get some direction. But Tom is looking up that blog post right now, and he will post a link to it, and that should help you quite a bit. I think I give you some books to get that would also be helpful. So, and I suggest that you start 1 week, just do breakfast. Do a plant-based breakfast. It could be oatmeal, it could be, there's lots of different things that you can make. You could do a green smoothie. Part of how you get started too depends on what your health conditions are. If you have heart disease, if you have diabetes, maybe you don't have anything like that, but you need to lose weight. Maybe you don't need to lose weight. So in that article, I do tell you whose book I suggest that you might look at depending on what you have going on health-wise or not. So the first week, maybe do a plant-based breakfast. The second week, do plant-based breakfast, plant-based lunch. And then your evening meal, you do what you've normally been doing. Just baby steps to help you get into it. And then the third week, you go all in. Breakfast, lunch, dinner, and snacks. And so there's just a plethora of recipes out there. You can check my blog. You can look at my YouTube channel. You can check Chef AJ's, the Giroudi family, the Well Your World. You can go to YouTube and put in whole food, plant-based, no oil, and you'll get lots of recommendations. So, and we're happy that you're here, and we're happy that you want to explore being whole food, plant-based. That is very, very exciting. I am celebrating 10 years. This year is my 10th year being whole food, plant-based. I lost almost 50 pounds, have kept it off. Tom lost 30, 35, something like
30.
that. 30.
25 to 30.
And has kept it off, and we've had lots of health improvements. We didn't have any major health issues when we began, so we feel very fortunate that we discovered this lifestyle before we started having problems. Angie Murphy says, any advice for finding work in the whole food, plant-based, vegan space? I have a background in the hospitality industry, but have been out of the workforce for quite some time. I'm passionate about this lifestyle. Well, you can certainly get certified in coaching and start coaching people. You can start a YouTube channel. You can start a blog. You can be a recipe developer. You could, check with some of the whole food, plant-based institutions, I want to say, to see if there are any jobs open. If you're willing to move, I know that True North Health Center was hiring a while back, and they're in Santa Rosa, California.
Well, hospitality industry, concierge services you can do from anywhere online.
Yeah, that's true. But she wants to do something whole food, plant-based.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, you could, I don't know, any other ideas that anybody has. So I'm sure there's probably different things that people could be doing. Let's see.
Renee's got a good question.
I haven't gotten to Renee.
Oh, okay.
I don't think. Oh, Renee Friesen says, do you ever cheat? Well,
We're on camera too now.
Okay, I'm not sure what cheat means. We never go outside of whole food. We never go outside of being plant-based. We never eat any animal products. I haven't done that for 10 years, and it's been about 9 years for Tom. So we never stray from eating vegan, and typically we don't eat junk food. Tom has a more liberal diet than I do because I don't have room to fudge. Having been a yo-yo dieter for almost 40 years, I have to eat fewer calories. You have to eat, Dr. Roseanne Oliveira says, about 25% fewer calories than someone your same age, same height, same weight, who was never a yo-yo dieter. So I don't have a lot of room to cheat, so to speak. I don't think of it as cheating because I don't like the all or nothing thinking that conjures up in my mind, and that comes from years of disordered eating, being a yo-yo dieter. So we did recently go celebrate our 44th wedding anniversary
at a very
last
popular
Friday.
San Francisco vegan restaurant.
Yes, it's not a vegan restaurant.
It's a
they say they are whole food, plant-based. They don't advertise themselves as being vegan. They say they're whole food, plant-based. And there was a little bit of oil in the entrees that we had and the appetizer, and because they can't do no oil, we know now. And there was some sugar in the dessert that we had, but we could get plant-based, we could get gluten-free, and nothing was swimming in olive oil. And I don't typically do that, but I figure, you know what? I've been eating so clean for 10 years. One meal is not going to derail all the work that I've done, and all the effort.
Like you said, the oil was used as an ingredient. It wasn't like it was swimming in oil.
No, nothing was.
Yeah, and for instance, if I jumped on here on camera because when she's cooking things for the grandkids that are perfectly fine, but they might have a nut butter in them or a lot of tofu, or I think our daughter uses the vegan butter substitute in some of their stuff to cook the macaroni shells and stuff. She never eats that stuff. She does not.
I don't, no.
She does not cheat when it comes to preparing high fat or somewhat processed stuff for the kiddos. Because we're feeding them the tofus and the avocados and the fats and proteins and stuff that they need to grow. But she cooks this stuff and does not touch it, and I don't understand that at all. I have to sample at least one of the pancakes. I have to sample at least 1 cup of the Amy's.
Well, sometimes things aren't gluten-free either, and so I'm not going to make myself sick.
Yeah.
So, and I just don't want to go down the rabbit hole. I don't want to have.
Yeah.
I don't mind a little bit of avocado now and then. That's not
That's not cheating. That's just
not a big
managing what
food trigger for me. But sugar can be. But of the 2 desserts that we ordered, the really high fat one didn't really appeal to me. The cheesecake.
The more savory one was better.
The apple one was less sweet, and I liked it a lot more. And it had cashew ice cream.
Yeah. So when it comes to salt, oil, and sugar, if we have company and they want one of those things, it's like our guest services, salt, salt and sugar. We don't really use oil. We have to go find. They're buried in the cupboard somewhere. I don't know where they are. The salt will be way back behind all of our salt-free seasonings.
Yeah, but you'll eat, like, if we get together with the family and the family wants to order vegan pizza, then you'll eat the vegan pizza
with vegan cheese.
With vegan
but
cheese.
and for Tami, she wouldn't eat the vegan cheese because it's a high fat. It's got oil in it.
And I can't even eat the pizza because it's not gluten free. So
Yeah.
I just make myself something else when they're having that. And
So generally speaking, no, she does not cheat. Generally speaking, I cheat a little bit sometimes, but never outside of a whole food plant-based diet.
Yeah, the fact that I have a gluten sensitivity really helps me out, because that prevents me from trying, like, the vegan donut holes and the vegan cookies and
I did not eat one. The vegan donut holes you bought for the grandkids, I did not touch them.
Yeah.
You know why? They had all that sugar stuff coating on them, and it didn't.
It was crumbs.
Crumbs. Well, anyway, they looked way too sweet, and I didn't think I would like them because it would, like, put my head in a spin.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Anyway.
So anyway, normally when we go to San Francisco, we seek out healthier food. But I did not feel bad at all about the choices.
You know what? We got white linen tablecloths and real metal silverware. It was really a treat to go to because with COVID, we haven't for like 3 years gone to it's hard to find a nice whole food plant-based restaurant. And this would fall into that category as a nice.
We have more, what do I want to say? They're
local,
casual. So our local restaurants that will do oil-free for us have good food, but they're more like a cafe, and not like it's not.
They're strip mall restaurants.
Yeah, it's not like where you would go for celebrating an anniversary.
Yeah,
we go for birthdays and things like that.
The only one that's not a strip mall restaurant is the one up in Auburn, but that's an old downtown area, but it's a whole bunch of eateries.
But it's also just a cafe.
Yes, it's a cafe.
It's just a cafe.
Yeah.
So anyway, I hope that answers your question, and we don't think of it as cheating or not cheating. We just think of it as, I like how Doug Lyle says that, you don't have to have A days all the time. It's okay to have a B or a C day. I don't think I ever go to a C or a D day, but but I don't eat
She does
French
A days
fries.
and an occasional B, and I do A days and some B days and an occasional
D.
C plus day. D?
An occasional C.
A, B, D. She's not even going to allow me a C. Okay. All right.
Well, you'll eat leftovers from the kids, and I won't.
No.
And things like that. But he has more leeway to do that than I do, because I gain weight super easy, and I just have to stay away from the really high fat.
Yeah, and I'm outside swinging pickaxes and shovels and rakes and hoes and hauling things and wheelbarrows.
Man.
Woo, woo. Do we have questions? Maybe we should move on.
So I hope that answered your question, Renee. So normally we eat really clean. Although once in a while I will eat Chipotle, because that's something that
the salad at Chipotle.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I will get the rice, and I know there's a little bit of oil.
They say there isn't.
No, there is.
There is.
Yeah,
okay.
If you look on the website. Because that's something that the family will get and have, and then sometimes I say, I just don't want that, and I'll make my own thing. So anyway, Susan says, I tried your creamy balsamic salad dressing. It's wonderful. I'm trying to change our style, so I wanted to start with salad dressings. Perfect. Next,
Everything starts with salad.
And then you should try the ranch and the Caesar. So they're a little bit higher calorie density because I use tofu for them, but they're really, really delicious, and they help a lot of people be able to eat
and the
more
Caesar
salad.
comes in two versions: the low calorie density version, and the ultimate Caesar dressing that doesn't have a lot of regard to calories.
Yeah, Gina says, "Ooh, I'm in the Bay Area. What restaurant was it?"
Wild Seed.
On Union. There's also one in Palo Alto.
Yeah.
But this was on Union Street in
Yeah.
San Francisco. So it was.
Yeah, no, we haven't been
nice.
to Millennium. We've talked about that one a couple of
And
times.
then we just decided to go over to San Francisco that morning, so I did not try to call ahead because I know from my friends who are chefs that you should give the restaurant at least a 24-hour warning so that they can plan for it. Otherwise, you really mess up their line for orders. And we have found out since that people have told us who live over there that they don't do no oil, even if you call ahead, because they make up their sauces and everything in really large batches ahead of time, and so they can't customize it because the curry that I had, that the base for that was made up in a great big quantity. And so just know that if you do go there, it's going to have a little bit of oil, but like nothing was swimming in oil. And I don't eat oil. And I was afraid that I would end up having lower GI issues, and I had none. So, which shows me that it had to have been a very, very small amount of oil in it. And nothing tasted salty, even though it did have some salt in it. So anyway, Marie says, I am new to plant-based and wonder why the use of stevia is never used. Your input is greatly appreciated. The stevia is highly processed and super sweet, and what happens is that people start using it, and then to get that same sweetness, they have to keep upping the amount of it.
It's totally playing games with your brain.
Yes.
and your neural pathways, and it's just really a good idea to move past it and get rid of it. It's a third-party ingredient that has no useful purpose other than faking you into thinking you have something sweet.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so when you ingest something like that that's sweet, and as soon as your tongue tastes it, your body says, oh, we need some more insulin because we're having sugar. But then it produces the insulin, and then there's no sugar, no glucose.
And so then it dries up the sugar supply that you would normally have and depletes it, and so then you're losing your energy. So,
and the plant-based doctors say if you were using the stevia leaf, they would be fine with it, but people aren't. People are using the liquid drops, or they're using the powder, and it's just been very highly processed, and your brain just doesn't know how to deal with it. So better to use date syrup, to use dates, and to use fruit to sweeten whatever it is that you're going to be having. And so I hope that helps. So just because it is a 0-calorie sweetener doesn't mean that it's healthy for you.
It also kind of takes me back to our the early months of transitioning to a whole food plant-based diet and not using granular sugar. That things, the flavor of things starts to come out. This holds true for salt as well. Your tongue starts to learn to appreciate what things really taste like. And some things now, like you get into a bag of carrots, and the carrots are like, wow, these carrots are so sweet. Watermelon is insanely sweet. Grapes are like explosions in your head of sweet. It's just to add sweetness to stuff at this point just seems wrong.
Well, except for desserts, and she
Yeah.
might be using it in her coffee or her tea.
Yeah, I mean sprinkling,
make it
adding salt.
sweet.
I mean, I know you cook with dates and stuff to give sweetness to desserts and so forth. And a
Yes.
date in and of itself is, obviously if you take one and like bite on it, it's like you're eating a gummy sugar, a sugar gummy,
Yes.
a gummy bear. Yeah.
Or to counter the acidity in a tomato-based sauce, you can throw a date or two in there, to tame that a little bit. So, but
Yeah.
it's a whole new concept when you go whole food plant-based.
Yeah. Mary Beth has a question I'll take if you want to read that out to everybody.
Okay, Mary Beth says, and good point about how your taste buds change, Tom. That was a good point.
Yeah.
Because you do neuroadapt, and now, like a Persian cucumber.
Those are sweet.
Those taste sweet.
Yeah.
Right.
And
tomatoes can taste really, really sweet. The tomatoes, not last year's tomatoes that we grew, but
Right.
the ones the
before.
year before, they were, even David was saying, our son was over the other night, and he's like, remember the tomatoes you grew year before last? Those were like eating grapes. They were so
Last year was a
sweet.
fail on tomatoes. It was a D tomato. It was an F tomato year. Okay.
We're going to make up for it. Okay, so Mary Beth says, can you explain a little bit more about A days, B days, C days, and D days?
Well, that probably more applies to me. And so for an A day for me, I would make my dump soup for lunch, which is one potato, and then, vegetables, all kinds of vegetables. Chops, one of Tammy's famous chopped salads for dinner. And I'll have my oats for breakfast. And that would be the 3 meals of my entire day. And, variations on those. The soup is a variable, what goes in it. The salad at nighttime is certainly a variable. We change that up, but the core ingredients are the same. And that's an A day for me. A C day for me is I might still eat all those things, but if we have guests here and we do cook something to accommodate them, and then probably where I get the bad grades is Tammy will prepare one of Amy's vegan pasta cheese shells things, and they're really rich and they eat all they want, and then I just have a propensity to go over to the pot when all the kids are done, and I feel compelled to clean the pot out.
Or toast with peanut butter.
Yeah, which doesn't happen often, but it happens once in a while. So those are not A days.
Or vegan cheese.
Those are, a veggie burger. I'll throw one piece of vegan cheese in there as a luxury. That might be a B- day. So that's what we mean by that. Some days we eat, very clean when it comes to whole food plant-based. And then I get more variety in there on those other things.
Yeah.
And then Tammy just doesn't go there very often.
So Dr. Doug Lyle would say that an A day is like a perfect whole food plant-based day. You only ate when you were hungry. You stopped when you were full. And that's a new concept for many of us. And because you're not eating by the clock, you aren't eating just because everybody else is eating. You're eating because you're truly hungry, and you stop before you are stuffed. You stop when you're comfortably full, and you ate all whole food, plant exclusive, and you didn't eat things that were processed. And then a B day would be, a little bit less than that.
Yeah, his main point that he really, in that lecture, that he was trying to stress is, A days are great, B and C days happen. Oh well, go back to an A day tomorrow. Do not fall in the trap of all or nothing thinking, or having a C- day and going, oh my goodness, I'm worthless. I don't even know why I'm trying. In fact, I'm going to give up because it's just not worth it, because I can't do it. That is not beneficial to your health, and that is what he's trying to say. Don't fall into that trap. A days are great. B and C days happen. If you have an F day.
And for some people, B and C days, they can still flourish. If you were never a yo-yo dieter and you don't have any health issues. So we're all very... We're
B and C days are way better than D and F days. So, but you just continue on from whatever happened and go for the next good day.
And very few people can be perfect every day. And we don't have to be perfect. I like what Dr. Esser says. He says, don't strive for perfection, strive for excellence. And sometimes we're just making, the best decisions and choices that we can given the day. But here's the thing, if you have heart disease, type 2 diabetes, different medical conditions, the stricter you can be and the healthier choices that you make, the better results that you will get.
Take the no oil conversation very seriously if you're a heart patient, yeah.
Or even if you're not, because eventually you could be. There's a lot of vegans
with heart disease. Yeah.
That's right. And so anyway, I hope that helps. Look for a lot of Doug Lyle's interviews and check out his, I forget the name of his website, Esteemed Dynamics? No. Jesse, what is...
Esteemed Dynamics.
No, I don't think I have it right. Jesse or Tiffany, can you post the link to Dr. Doug Lyle's website? I can't... Esteemed Dynamics? I can't think of it right now.
You know, this whole conversation, you know, that you want to strive to do your best, but being perfect can be a trap. That's why I never claimed to be better than nearly perfect. I would never claim to be perfect. So, going back to was that last week or 2 weeks ago?
I think you did claim to be almost perfect. But anyway, so I hope that helps. But also look on YouTube for Dr. Doug Lyle and watch his videos because he just explains things really, really well. Let's see.
Stephanie, did we get...
Susan says, I followed Tami's batch cooking and salad prep last week. It made everything so much easier. We had nutritious food waiting for us at home every night. We didn't eat out at all. Bravo. That's fantastic.
Did you catch a question earlier on about the sprouting when I was messing with the sound? There was a question about, are you still sprouting?
There was one that came in on an email. Lisa asked, are you still sprouting?
Okay, that's
I will say yes and no. So I got sick a couple weeks ago. I was sick for like 2 weeks, and I got off the train of sprouting.
And the guy didn't keep it up.
The guy didn't keep it up. I don't know what happened to the guy.
He didn't get an email or anything.
He didn't.
There was no information.
And so we bought sprouts last week.
And they went bad before we could finish them.
They did.
Store-bought sprouts are...
They go bad so fast. So when we do it, we love it. And we just do it in the jar, and it goes so easy.
Her sprouts do taste better than the store-bought, and we just use the quart jar with the screen lid method.
Okay. So, Susan, I want to say that's fantastic. And for those of you who are new, 2 things that we do that help us stay on this path and make our life easier. One is we have a salad every day for one of our main meals, and we add a ton of different things to it. You can find batch prep salad information on our YouTube channel and also on our blog. And we also have a video course for that batch, beautiful chopped salad course with a recipe ebook. And then we also have a batch cooking video course with 32 hours of video instruction and a 100-page handbook / recipe book that goes with it. Both of those are available on the website, and I think you probably have information for that in the show notes.
Down in the bottom part of the show notes is stuff on the 2 courses. Yes.
Yes. Okay.
And we are running discount codes on both of them. The batch, the salad course has the HBM, which is an acronym for Hull and Bull Mill. HBM 25 is the April discount code for the salad, beautiful chopped salad course, and batch 25 is the discount code for the batch cooking course right now through the end of April.
Great. Stephanie says, can you use butter beans in place of tofu or cashew in a recipe? Would depend on the recipe, but if it's a savory type recipe, I would go right ahead and do that. And I like to use the cannellini beans. I don't know how much flavor there is in so judge that to see. You will get a different texture and you will get a different mouthfeel because the tofu has a higher fat content than the butter beans, and the same with the cashews because the cashews also are going to have a higher fat content. and that gives you a different mouthfeel. Plus the cashews are a little bit sweet, and so it will change the flavor, but absolutely, like in my creamy balsamic dressing, I use, instead of nuts in that, I use the cannellini beans, and it gives it creaminess and it tastes delicious, and you would never know that there were beans in it. So you can also, depending on the recipe, you can use some oven roasted or oven baked sweet potato instead. And if you don't want the orange color, then you can use the white sweet potatoes like the Hannah's or the Japanese sweet potatoes, or they might be called Jersey potatoes depending on where you live. And some people have told me they're also called white sweet potatoes. So great questions, you guys. Ellie says, I tried your nacho cheese sauce in the batch prepping ebook. I used pumpkin instead of potatoes. Day 1 was okay. Day 2 was delicious. I just made a batch of it myself yesterday or the day before, and I used butternut squash that I had roasted in the oven. It is sweeter and creamier when I use the butternut squash in place of the potatoes and the carrots. So I bet it was good in pumpkin. Thank you with pumpkin. Thank you too. I'm gonna try it. I already don't eat any meat, and so on. Watching from St. Martin in the Caribbean. Oh, wonderful. We've huge difference. Yay, batch cooking. Yes, batch cooking is where it's at. Hyacinth Henry says, what about coconut sugar? Is that bad for you? And maple syrup. That's what I am using every now and then. You know, it all depends on the person. So I do use some coconut sugar and some maple syrup in recipes for my grandchildren. I usually don't use maple syrup in what we have. I usually use the date syrup just because it's a little bit less processed, but it depends on the person. And if you're using it and it's working for you and wanting more sweets. So it really, you know, some of these things, you guys, are really individual. And live shows, is there a way to do it? Yes. You can email me at Tami@nutmegnotebook.com, and that would be great. Connie says, I eat a lot of almond butter. That's fantastic. I wish I could. Rosie says, what's the book in front of you? This is the Health Science Magazine. This is the only magazine that we subscribe to. This is put out by the National Health Association. You can order this, become a member for $35 a year. You get 4 issues. It's a quarterly magazine. You will get 4 issues. It does not come monthly. It is a quarterly magazine. So there are no ads in it. It's full of SOS free, which stands for salt, oil, and sugar free, whole food, plant-based recipes, wonderful health articles. Everything's based on science, and all of our favorite, gosh, my screen froze for a second here. All of our favorite plant-based doctors from time to time will be profiled in here. There will be people, like I had recipes in there. Tiffany Wilkerson, one of our moderators, has had recipes in here. Chef AJ, well, lots of wonderful people have had recipes in here, and it's a great magazine. We highly recommend that you get it. Tiffany says that the live keeps buffering off and on, Tom, and I noticed that. I'm pausing right now. It's on pause. It is buffering.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you, Tiffany, for letting us know that it's buffering. It is buffering on our end as well. Tiffany says, progress, not perfection. Absolutely. Yes, so if you have weight to lose, then staying away from nut butters and nuts and bread and all of the higher calorie density foods is a good idea. If you stall in your weight loss, it's a good idea. If you have hard nut butters and nuts, so, or they limit them to just that 1 little ounce a day. So Tom is checking our hookup to see if anything is going on here that would cause us to be buffering.
Okay.
Okay.
Where's your Mezzaluna knife? I don't know.
Okay, so Laura is talking about the Mezzaluna knife. Mine is over there at the back of the stove.
We'll talk about the
Okay.
curvature of the blade at some point.
Laura says, I finally got around to getting a Mezzaluna knife, a Lamson knife for my 15-inch bowl, but I have a 7-inch instead of a 6.25. I have never used this kind of knife before, so I don't know if it's the right size for your bowl, I'm thinking is the rest of the sentence.
Okay.
So let's see.
So here's the...
She says, so would the 7 or the 6.25 size be better to use?
I don't know what the measurement of this one is. Okay, so so she must be the same person that sent an email. This was an email, I thought.
Yeah, I think it was on YouTube. You told me it was on
it's a comment
YouTube.
on YouTube, yeah. Okay, so
show her the two knives.
This conversation we've had it in our household a few times because this is Tami's Mezzaluna knife. This is the one that came from Holland Bull Mill with her bowl, and it's nice and curvy, and will move around easily throughout the bowl. This is my Lamson knife. Yeah, this is Lamson that we had before, before we actually had the ULU knife before we got our first Mezzaluna. And you can see on screen here, it's subtle, but the Mezzaluna has more curve. The radius is shorter of the curve of this than it is on the Lamson. But either knife, because the curve of this is enough that the blade can rock inside the bowl. I don't know if my microphone is in the way or not. Yeah. So when I go in here, the contact is coming on the center. And I've got room, because I do chop around the edges and stuff, so no matter where I'm chopping, this blade, the center of the blade can contact the bowl. I do use a rocking motion, so I get, a complete cut on the salads. And so it works great in a 15-inch or larger bowl. And so I'm comparing this because you said that you had a larger ULU knife. This is a 12-inch bowl, Tami? This one's a 12?
Yes.
And technically it does still fit in here, but only if you're very precise. You can see how it, and so what's going to happen is you're going to wind up chopping up the corner edge of the top of the bowl here, and there's really, there's not enough maneuverable space in there, where this guy, you could very easily, there's plenty of room to rock and roll the knife around in here, and your contact is always going to be, in the lower portion of the blade. So you don't want, this one, you'd be catching the top of the blade a lot, and it would be chewing up the outside of the bowl. So for a 15-inch or larger, this is perfect. If you're a 12-inch or smaller, then the Mezzaluna would be the route to go. They do sell, like, for herbs, these flat cutting boards that have a slight depress in the middle where you can use an ULU or a Mezzaluna. So, but it's really, how does it fit the bowl, and does it have some room to maneuver in there? If the knife was too big and the bowl is too small, you'd get a contact point here and a contact point here, and the middle wouldn't even get to the wood, and that would not chop your salad, if that makes any sense. So I'm going to measure this and see what this is.
And this one looks like and if the knife was too big, with that shape, that the tips would really damage the bowl.
The top edge of the bowl, yeah.
Is what I worry about for that. So
now, a lot of our viewers might appreciate, this is an actual wooden ruler. This is made
wow. Oh, we're gonna have to. This is getting watery.
Oh, okay.
I should have poured it right away.
What is it?
Oh, I made a mocha drink for us, but now it's getting all watery.
Okay.
It was thick like a shake.
I can give it a quick little stir, a quick little buzz. Was it frozen? I think this is a 6.5. If I rotate this, yeah, this is a 6.5-inch blade, and it fits fine in a 12-inch. A 7.5
It doesn't fit in a 12-inch, I thought.
In a 15-inch or bigger.
There you go.
Did I say
'cause
12?
You did.
It'll fit in a 15-inch or bigger. Not great for a 12. Your 7.5 may still work on that, but you have to test that rockability of it. Okay.
Okay.
So what?
Oh, I think it needs some, maybe it needs ice added to it and give it a whirl. Maybe in the laundry room.
You might use your laundry room blender? Okay.
But you're going to have to put a lid on it and get some ice.
Okay.
All right. So I'll answer questions while you're gone.
And they put you back on Tandy Camp.
Yes. Okay, so we answered that. Thank you for asking about that, Laura. Let's see. Barbara says, I learned about super cubes from you and I love them. I'm on vacation this week and brought all of our main meals frozen using super cubes. Oh my gosh, that's awesome. Those are incredible. If you don't know what they are, you guys, we have a YouTube video.
Just search Nutmeg super cubes.
Yep. Tiffany says, I'm thinking of purchasing the AeroGarden. Did you find yourself having any problems battling little bugs often? Only one time.
The first time I had aphids on the basil.
Was it the first time or the second? Maybe it was the first time. Tom, if you reached in and got those, it would make a lot less noise.
It's not making noise on your microphone, is it?
Well, yeah, I'm sure that they
like
can
I
still
said,
hear it.
I'm not perfect. I'm
Okay.
only nearly perfect.
Only nearly perfect. So we did have some aphids on the basil
But it's never happened
one
since.
time, and that was the only time. And every other time, and we've been using it for a couple of years now, and we have a huge crop of basil going right now, and we have no bugs whatsoever. So we do really like it. We've tried to grow thyme and cilantro and parsley, and we did not have good luck. The only thing that we've had really good luck with is our basil. I'm sure we could grow lettuce. We've seen other people grow lettuce.
Where is it?
Oh, is it in the dining room maybe?
Oh.
Could be. We know that other people are growing lettuce and little tomatoes and things in theirs. We just didn't think it would produce enough to make that worthwhile for us given the size salads that we eat. So, so anyway, yes. But we do like it. We do use it. We usually have something growing in it all the time, usually basil.
It's got a
Right
basil
now.
bush in it.
It has a basil bush going right now.
2 feet high and 2 feet wide.
Laura says, I'd like to know where I can leave a message for Tami. She doesn't use Instagram messaging nor in Facebook either. That's, if you're asking me, I do check Facebook messages and I do check Instagram messages, but I prefer if you email me. It's much easier for me to answer you on my computer with email, especially if it has to be a long answer. So you can email me at Tami, Tami, at nutmegnotebook.com. If a recipe calls for nuts, what can one use in salad dressing or in desserts? So it depends on what the desserts are. So different things work in different products. So for salad dressings, I do use tofu or I use the cannellini beans. And you can use some sweet potato, you can to make it, because what it's adding is thickness and creaminess. And so, and you do get some natural fat from the beans as well. So, okay, so here is,
Move the pan out of the way.
okay, I don't know, do I trust you to pour right in front of me?
Well, I'll do a nearly perfect pour.
Okay, beautiful. So we got some new, now it's thickened up a bit.
Wow, how much?
That's good. The blue one's yours, the purple one's mine. I didn't think you'd want to drink out of the purple straw. So you guys, what he's pouring is Joy plant-based milk bases has a couple new products. I think that's the date. Is that chunks of ice maybe?
Yeah,
that didn't get.
I didn't want to do it too long and heat it up.
Right.
Because it's
Okay.
Vitamix.
So here we go. So what I wanted to show you today is that Joy Milk has a couple of newer products that are out, and I wanted to show them to you. And so we have their new oat milk, and this is a powder, and it dissolves really, really quickly. Do you want to taste this?
How does this straw work?
Oh, that's good. That's a mocha.
I've never used one of these straws before. It's
These are from Vitamix.
These straws?
Yeah. Okay, so they have the hemp milk base, and then they also have this oat milk. And the really cool thing about the oat milk base is it dissolves in water. So these are Joy, stands for just one ingredient. And so they make bases for making your own milk at home. So it reduces packaging, so it's friendlier for the environment, and you save money by doing it. So this package here is the equivalent of 8 quarts of milk, but it comes in this one little package instead of 8 boxes, and then you're not paying for all of that water. One ingredient, it's just oats, and they have a special way of processing it where it comes out much better than what you can make at home. So they recommend for the oat base, and they've had an oat base all along, but this one now dissolves easily in water, which makes it great to be able to take it with you when you travel. So they suggest 2 scoops for 8 ounces of water, and then all you have to do
You're on
is...
screen. You're not on screen. You pull it back. You're
Oh, it's not on screen?
Well, look at your...
Okay, here we go. Now I got it. Here we go. And it dissolves. Look at this. This is now a glass of oat milk. So you can put this right in your cup of coffee or right in your cup of tea. And you don't have to mix it up in the blender. And so this would be like a wonderful, really creamy oat little creamer
And they've got
for
it
you.
really dissolves easily now.
Yes, which will make it great for traveling. So you can, put this in a little container and take it with you. So I do like the oat milk. So you can choose to use 1 tablespoon or 2 tablespoons for 8 ounces of water. It's 85 calories and 2 grams of fat for that, and 2 grams of protein. Just so I'm just telling you, just so you know. I use the oat milk a lot in my cooking because I don't have to mix up the milk. I put in the appropriate tablespoons of the oat powder and then just add the right amount of water. Great for making smoothies, for making soups, whatever you're mixing up. So it works great. And it says right on the package, stir right into your coffee or your hot tea. So this is a wonderful product. I've been using the regular oat milk powder since they came out with it. I always keep it in my pantry, and we take it with us when we travel. So that works really, really good. That is the Joy Organic Oat Milk Powder. So there you go. That's new. This is a new one. And then this is the hemp. And this is a brand new product for them. And it's organic. This is one ingredient. It is made from hemp seeds. And I should have known what color it would be when I opened it, but I was still like, oh my gosh, look at how green it is. Look at that. It currently only comes in this big size. And this makes 15 gallons. This makes 15 gallons. It has a shelf life of 18 months, and I think that is the same for the for the oat powder as well. I don't see it on here, but I believe it's the same, that it has 18 months. Does not need to be refrigerated. This is shelf stable. And this also, their other bases do not have to be refrigerated. They are shelf stable. Add water, blend, and enjoy. Keep in a cool, dry place. Refrigeration not necessary. So I didn't want to have to deal with getting a tablespoon of the liquid out of here to make this for you, but I want to show you. You put it in the water, and then I just use my little AeroLatte and just mix it up that way. If Tom makes the almond milk all of the time, and he just makes it in our Vitamix and then puts it in a pitcher to put in the refrigerator. And if you get a little bit of separation, you just shake it. But look, it's not real green when you mix it up. So anyway, so I made these shakes for us, and I just put in, I did 2 cups of water and 4 tablespoons of the oat milk powder, and a couple bananas and the dandy blend and some cacao and a few dates. And this is absolutely delicious. Very good. I think this would be good in the Ninja CREAMi. What do you think?
Kim Keenan has a question.
Okay. Alrighty, let's see. How far down?
At the very bottom. Oh, you're way behind.
I'm way behind. There was a lot of chatting going on while I was talking.
Just look for question marks.
Okay.
Yeah, Kim says, she's asking Gina, so never mind.
Okay, never mind. So Tiffany says, I enjoy the Joy products. Great to travel with my blend jet. Perfect. All right.
Yeah, I'm not seeing question marks. They're just having a conversation.
Okay.
Laura Ball said, I make the chopped salad just for me, so I don't have a full bowl of lettuce. Did you get to that one yet?
No.
Okay. Laura says, you want me to read it to you?
Sure.
Okay. Laura is saying, I make the chopped salad just for me, so I don't have a full bowl of lettuce. It's all happening at the bottom part of the bowl. Yes, I can see how a smaller one would be better. Thank you.
Okay,
Oh,
great.
she had the question about the knife. Yeah.
Okay, and someone was asking about the little hand blender. This is, which way do I go? This way.
AeroLatte.
Oh, we're on there.
Yeah.
Yes, this is just the AeroLatte. I think it's on our Amazon store.
Yeah.
And so this is just good if you're just mixing up something in a glass. It works really well. So we keep it on the counter. Oh my gosh, I just made it go and milk went.
Did you spray everywhere?
Yeah, milk went everywhere on my iPad.
Is it in your hair? Look at me.
I don't think so.
Okay.
It didn't go here.
Oh.
So anyway, 2 new products. We do have a discount code for Joy. Did you put that in the
It's in the show notes.
in the show notes?
It's Nutmeg. Big surprise.
Yeah, big surprise.
Yeah, the discount code is Nutmeg. So,
okay, so I'll move that
Yeah.
over, and let's continue on. Is the oat milk gluten-free? Let's see if it is organic, non-GMO. It is gluten-free but not certified. So you know that. So if you have celiac disease, then you would not want to use it. I can use it. I have a gluten sensitivity. I'm able to use it, but because it's not certified, oats are naturally gluten-free, but they can have cross-contamination. Oh, I'm talking to the wrong camera. They can have cross-contamination if they are processed on equipment that is shared with grains that do have gluten in them. Okay. But they also have almond base, cashew base, the oat, the hemp, and they also have one that's a combination that's a creamer.
Now, Tiffany wants to know if your jacket's in the Nutmeg Notebook store.
It is not. I bought this years ago from Land's End.
They want it. Tiffany wants your jacket.
You know what? I was out shopping today and I was in Macy's, and a clerk in Macy's, as I was walking past her, she said, "That is a really cute outfit, and I really love that dark denim jacket."
Well, it's okay. What's different is it's not ripped and faded. Because that's what's in style. Everything is ripped and faded.
I know, but I still like the nice dark one. So thank you. I like it too. And Land's End, they probably still have them because it's kind of a basic wardrobe item. Okay, so I'm looking. You look and see, and I'll talk. Okay, I did see somebody.
What am I looking for?
Somebody for questions. I did see somebody earlier said, "What do you advise for diabetes?" And I made a note of it, but I didn't write down your name. So I don't know if you can find that one or not, Tom. Right. But anyway, so what we would recommend for diabetes is the same diet that's good for the rest of us, a whole food, plant-based, SOS-free diet. So that would be no salt, no oil, no sugar. And eat the plant and the whole plant, nothing but the whole plant. And so there are 2 places that you can look to for information about having type 2 diabetes or even type 1, but type 2, as long as you are not at the point where you are insulin dependent, it can actually possibly be reversed. At least it can be helped to give you a better AC1 score. So I would look up Dr. Barnard from Physicians Committee for Responsible Medicine, and that's BARNARD, Dr. Barnard. He has a couple of books on diabetes. You've got me back on the camera?
You've been on yours the whole time.
Oh, Tom. I wish that button was over where I could see it so I would know what camera to look at. Maybe someday we'll be rich enough that we can get the cameras that have the light on them so I know which one I'm supposed to be talking to. Okay, Dr. Barnard has a couple of books on diabetes. I was a recipe tester for one of them. Drina Burton did all of the recipes, and I was one of her recipe testers for it. So the recipes in it are really great, and he goes into detail telling you, why eating this way will really help you. And then also look up Mastering Diabetes, and that is, they have a book, they have a website, they have a Facebook page. You can find them also on YouTube. You can also find Dr. Barnard on YouTube as well. And this lifestyle is fantastic for people who have either type 1 or type 2 diabetes. We all know you can't reverse type 1 diabetes, but the way you eat can make it so that you don't have to take as much insulin, which that insulin is actually really hard on your body and your internal organs. So, okay, let's see.
You have a question?
Okay.
Hyacinth Henry asked earlier, evidently is enjoying participating in our plant-based conversation, is asking how often our show is on. We are typically on Wednesday afternoons currently at 3 p.m. Pacific time. And so we plan on being here same time, same place next week. We are coming into some travel and stuff coming up. Tammy's traveling, and then we have some things in June. So there'll be some breaks in the summertime. But generally speaking, we're on Wednesdays at 3 o'clock. We used to have some different days and times, but we're working with this one right now. It seems to be working out for a lot of folks.
And if we're not here, go back and watch our
they're all still
old
there.
Videos, because they're all still there. And so we have hundreds of them. So go back and binge watch the shows that we've already done. Make sure you check out our blog as well at nutmegnotebook.com.
Yeah.
And I'm on Instagram and also Facebook. And check us out there as well.
Just as a point, earlier in the show today, Tami asked me to find the video on travel, the Nutmeg Notebook video on plant-based travel. So I just went straight to, was it plant-based travel?
No.
Yeah.
It was about how to get started on a
How to
whole
get
food
started on a
plant-based
plant-based
lifestyle.
diet.
And
So I put in Google, Nutmeg Notebook, how to get started. That's all I put in Google. And it was the top hit. It was the first one that came up with. So Google likes Nutmeg Notebook. And so any question you have about anything plant-based or plant-based lifestyle, just put Nutmeg Notebook in front of it and then ask the question, Nutmeg Notebook potatoes, Nutmeg Notebook brown rice, Nutmeg Notebook black beans, Nutmeg Notebook squash. All of those queries will give you multiple hits of information from our library of videos.
Right.
And back to camera 1 now. I'm putting you on your camera, number 1.
Okay. So Laura asks or says, I am amazed how the sweetness of balsamic vinegar is so pleasantly sweet. We really do not have to worry about the amount of sugar, I guess. We are very lucky to use it all. Okay, so again, this will be an individual thing for each person. The California balsamics do have natural sweetness from the grape musk, and that's okay for some people and it might not be okay for everyone. And we know people who put like a quarter cup or more on a salad. For one, it's expensive, so that would be a lot to use, and two, that's a lot of sugar. And so Tom and I don't use more than 2 tablespoons. Oftentimes it's just like 1 tablespoon. We just do a drizzle of it because it is sweet. It does have a lot of sugar in it. So it really depends on the person. So, you know, you want to use your condiments responsibly and not overdo it. And that's all I have to say, I guess, on that one.
Yeah. Did you catch Stephanie's question about how long does garlic stay frozen or keep in the freezer?
Yeah, generally they say for items in the freezer about 3 months. I have kept the garlic longer than that because I buy that great big bag at Costco, and then I will put it in a dish, cover my dish with foil. The foil's not touching the garlic. I'll put a little bit of water in the bottom of it and roast it until it has turned a nice golden color. I'll let it cool. Then I'll divide it up in my super cubes, either in the cookie tray or the little, I think it's 1 or 2 ounce little cubes, and divide it up, freeze it, and then I'll pop it out of that and put it in. I have it in my zip top bags or the stashers. Both of those I use. And then I put it in the freezer. And so I have it in there, and there's, you know, little like tablespoon clumps of it. And I've probably had it in there now for about 4 months, and it's perfectly fine. I used it yesterday and it works great. Yes.
Hyacinth Henry had another question earlier. If a recipe calls, and we were dancing around this subject earlier.
Okay.
If a recipe calls for nuts, what can one use in salad dressings or in your dessert? We did that one already? Mm-hmm. Okay, great, thanks.
Mm-hmm. So if you look at my recipes for salad dressings on our blog, the creamy balsamic, the vegan ranch, and the vegan Caesar. I have 2 vegan Caesars. One uses nuts and one does not. So look at those. That'll give you an idea on how to sub for the nuts. Especially look at the 2 recipes that I made the Caesar out of, because one has nuts, although that one is a bigger recipe, and then one uses the tofu. So let's see. What model of laptop do you use?
We use various Dell models.
Yes.
We have just Dell laptops.
We have Dells. Maribeth says, I watched the video unpacking a pantry suitcase, and I use that every time we travel. It's been a game changer for me when we travel. Thank you so much for that. You are welcome. So you guys can watch that video where I show you how to use a suitcase as a traveling pantry. And travel time is coming up. So Laura says, thank you for that info. I think I'm using too much vinegar, especially the Kirkland one you liked from Costco. It is thicker, so I use more because my salads are big. Renee says, I just sent an email as you may have missed my question earlier. Do you have resources for making dressings without acids?
Do all of your dressings use a vinegar or no?
They all use some kind of acid, yes. So that is a regular component in salad dressings to have that acidity. But what you could try doing instead is you can leave it out and see what happens. You could substitute some fruit because it's adding a flavor profile for us, and it is also adding a little bit of sweetness, especially if you're using like balsamic vinegar. So you can make salad dressings with fruit and herbs, so give that a try. Like you can put a fresh mango meat in the, I guess it's not really meat, but the fresh mango without the peeling in the blender and add a little bit of, can you use lime juice? Are you able to substitute lime juice? Where's that question again?
From Renee?
See, this just keeps moving.
Yeah, it's near the very bottom. If you
Okay, here we go. Okay, you can't have citrus either. Okay, so then just try making them with some fruit. So try a little bit of, you can do mango with cilantro, mango with basil. You can use pineapple. You can use mango pineapple with some fresh herbs, either cilantro, basil, thyme, whatever you like, and use some seasonings in there.
Pineapple has a lot of zing to it. It's almost,
it might be too
acidic. Yeah.
Yes, but the mango you would be able to use. You can do strawberries and a little bit of water and put some seasonings in there and make a strawberry dressing. So I don't know of anybody who has recipes without vinegar, but Google it, because if they're out there, then it will come up in Google.
Google is your friend.
You can put oil-free, vinegar-free salad dressings and see what comes up. If anybody in the chat knows of any, please let us know what resource you use for that.
We should regroup on what announcements we want to make sure we make, because we're out of time for this afternoon.
Okay, great. So I wanted to say, go ahead.
Well, we've got the newsletter, for those of you subscribed, did go out, and this video was announced in there. A review of some of the Tami's recent blog posts. She's got some more bacon on her desk that are going to be released here coming up. And we are doing an Amazon product show tomorrow at 10 a.m. Pacific. That is, appliances and utensils and some other odds and ends. We're going to be, whatever's in stock, we're going to be talking about picnic coolers and taking food on the go for as we're approaching spring and fresh weather here. It's titled Tami's Spring, Getting Ready for Spring or something. I forgot what we named it.
I forgot too.
So that's happening tomorrow on our Amazon channel, amazon.com/live/nutmeg notebook. There's links in the show notes. We did have some wonderful news from Vitamix that came through just yesterday. Our beloved Venturist V1200, which was what I just blended that chocolate thing in, is on a sale right now. It is the new technology, the self-detect, so it takes the food processor attachment and those other little small container attachments that have the little hub on them, the self-detect hub that tells the blender how to work with the size of vessel that's on it, is on sale for $299.95 net. It it's the refurbished one. It usually sells for $449.95, but it's $150 off now while supply lasts. They have an inventory of them, and they're letting them go at just under $300 for a while. The email was non-specific about how long it's going to last, but it's on right now. And that is the machine that typically is sold at Costco. And so I guess they had a few extras of them. They do sell them refurbished because they call them refurbished. They may have been out to a warehouse and then back again. But since they've left the factory once, they can't call them brand new. But we've had many emails from folks that got them to open them up, and there's no indication that it's not brand new. So that's the reports we're getting. The plastic parts and stuff that contact food absolutely are brand new, no matter what, even if the base was remanufactured or refurbished. But the condition they come in is excellent. And so you can get a full-on, full-scale, full modern technology Vitamix for under $300. It's pretty amazing. By comparison, our other favorite blender, the Ascent 3500, is like $649 for just the blender and one container, which it would be worth it. It's a great blender, but the Self-Detect is a great system, and the Venturous V1200 gets you into that. So that's in the show notes, and it was in the email.
And you have to use our affiliate link, because if you just go to the website,
it doesn't show. No, this is for people that we know or the people that know us. You use our link, and it automatically fills in a secret code into the coupon box to give you the $150 off. They're making that available only through their affiliate partners.
So you won't see the price, the correct price,
when
until you're checking
out.
out.
Yes.
So you want to make sure that you use the link that Tom has in there, and then tell them about the apron.
There you can get, we've got these Nutmeg notebook aprons. Well, Vitamix had to have an apron too, right? So they have a nice apron. They have a nice apron just like ours. It's a fancy hoity-toity brand of apron. It's worth like $89 usually, and they're giving that away on any orders over $289. So this Venturous V1200 promotion gets you the free apron. You have to put the apron code in the little apron code box also at checkout.
And the code is
Apron, APRON, yeah. I did not put that in the newsletter. I forgot. So I probably will have to send out a correction email tomorrow just on that issue. And we're continuing the sale on our courses. We talked about that earlier already on the batch prep course. Discount code is batch 25. And the salad course is right now HBM 25. Those of you that are registered for our email letter know that if you're not registered, you may have missed that information. So
you should all be subscribing to nutmegnotebook.com. It's free. And Tom, whenever we have wonderful sales that are happening with the companies that we have affiliate relationships with, or even if we don't have affiliate relationships with a company, if we find a good deal, then we like to send out an email and let you know about it so that you can take advantage of it as well.
Is there any other announcements?
Yes.
The new Joy products. You've got another one.
The NHA conference.
We were gonna try and float a boat.
Well, we're gonna do that too.
Okay, we want to float a boat.
Ooh, that's like, yeah.
What did you have something else you want to do in front of that?
We're just going to talk about this, about needing a ride at the NHA conference.
Two things NHA
related.
We are doing a couple of demonstrations at the NHA conference, a couple of classes, and we're going to be there on June 23rd in Cleveland, and we got to pick up some groceries. So is anybody coming to the NHA that will have their car
on Thursday?
On Thursday, Thursday afternoon probably, before, after the morning activity. There's either a hike or a Vitamix tour Thursday morning.
22nd is the Thursday.
Yeah, is that when the tours are? The hike and or the Vitamix tour?
No, that's Friday. On Thursday, that's why on Thursday we're doing a cooking demo there, and we weren't planning on renting a car, and so we were just going to take an Uber from the airport to the hotel. But we're doing a cooking demonstration on Saturday, And so we need to go to the grocery store. We can take an Uber too, but we just thought if somebody was going to be there and wanted to give us a ride,
wants to make a grocery run,
and go with us to the grocery store, that could be a
shoot
fun
us
outing.
an email to Tami@nutmegnotebook.com.
Yes.
Okay.
Perfect.
So, and then what's the date of that other question that we have about boat floating?
I believe it's February 3rd through the 10th
Okay, the NHA
of 2024.
February 10th. So y'all know what you're doing.
I think 3rd through
Y'all
the 10th.
know what you're doing on that day, right?
3rd through the 10th.
We've been on the NHA cruise,
I'll
one of
grab my
them,
notebook to see.
and they tend to fill up. And they work with WindStar and Lindblad Tours for those. And what's happened with WindStar is they're limiting the plant-based attendees of the NHA tours to 20. And so what's happened is that the demand has gotten a little bit bigger than the supply. And so looking at 2024, there is a Costa Rica to Panama Canal opportunity. And there, if you go on the NHA website, you're going to find two back-to-back tours that are cruises that are already set up for that location. And last time we spoke with Lisa McCarl from NHA Travel, there were only like 2 spots left on the first one, and she wanted to. And either Lisa or Wanda has typically been on as a host to host and take care of managing things with the hotel services on the ship and management of the ship, and they can't make another date in that particular time frame. So they asked us to float the boat that if we had 20 people, or actually 18 people that would join us, because we're limited to 20 plant-based eaters, that would we be willing to go as hosts the week of
February 3rd through the 10th.
February 3rd through the 10th. And so it would be very similar to what you already see on the NHA site for those other two.
Yeah,
2024.
this one will start in Costa Rica
and work its way down.
And work its way down
to Panama City and then through the canal just for fun. And
right.
then you fly home from the other side of the canal.
Right.
And so we said yes, we would be interested in doing that. We haven't made a firm commitment yet because Lisa suggested that we floated out to you guys that, if you think you might be interested or know that you are seriously interested, please shoot us an email to Tami@nutmegnotebook.com. And it's okay to say, maybe I'm interested, pretty interested, or definitely for sure interested.
And remember, this is February 3rd through the 10th of 2024.
Yeah, not this year, next year. Mm-hmm. And if you have a significant other that you want to bring and they're not plant-based, that's okay, because that does not count against our cap of 20 plant-based people.
Right. So we would need to know that so that we can tell WindStar, because then we have more room for more people, because they're willing to make food for 20 of us. But your spouse or your friend or your mother, if they don't eat plant-based, then they can still dine in the dining room and get
an alternative food source
and get standard American American
food.
diet food, which will also be delicious. So we've been on 2 of the WindStar cruises and we've absolutely loved them. They've been the best travel experiences that we've ever had. We have done a different type of cruise and it didn't compare at all to the WindStar. So the WindStar is by far our favorite. The food is amazing, the service is amazing, and all of the excursions that they have to offer are incredible. So they deal with the top excursion companies, and everything that we have done has been flawless.
It was pretty dialed in, and
just amazing. So Tom and I are excited about doing it. We just need to be sure that we can get 20 people that want to go, that will be able to go.
Yeah.
before we can, make a commitment
So
with Lisa.
so we would be hosting the cruise, dealing
Be a
with
Nutmeg Notebook.
It'd be a Nutmeg Notebook
Through
NHA cruise.
NHA.
Yeah. And so, and if you're already signed up for one of the other two cruises, you need to stay there.
Right. We can't mess that up.
We can't be playing a shell game of moving people around between the three cruises. This is to open it up for people that haven't had the opportunity to get on, because even here a year out, those other two cruises are full.
Yeah, and so in order to participate in the NHA cruises, you do have to join the NHA, which is what you do for $35.
And to get the magazine.
And you'll also get the magazine, because this is through the National Health Association and Lisa McCarl, she's the travel agent who specializes in plant-based travel, and she has worked extensively along with Wanda with the Windstar Cruise Line and the executive chefs to make sure that they understand how to make SOS-free food for us. Tom and I have had the pleasure of meeting with both chefs on the two cruises that we went on and discussing the food and giving them recipes.
And the culture has permeated throughout their staff. I mean, they know we're coming. They know how to accommodate our expectations on the food. It's truly amazing when it comes to plant-based travel experience. Yeah. There's just nothing else like it out there right now.
And even when we've had excursions booked, not going to be on the ship, they have called the restaurants ahead of time for us to make sure that they will make us SOS-free food, which is just also like going above and beyond.
Yeah.
And so, they're just very accommodating. They make sure that the little chocolates they leave you in the room are not milk chocolate, that they're dark chocolate. They have a fruit bowl in the room that they replenish every day. If they come in and check the room periodically. If you eat some of it during the day, they replenish it for you. Mm-hmm. It's really an amazing experience, and we're super excited. We hope some of you would be excited about it as well.
Yeah, we want to be able to give a firm heads up to the NHA by the Cleveland conference by June.
Yes.
So if you want to think it over, talk it over with your significant others, and then please do let us know. And you're not putting deposit money down or anything like that. It's just a maybe, a probably, or absolutely I'm on board. We're looking for those kinds of responses.
Yeah, Connie says she's already booked on a Panama cruise with the NHA. That's fantastic. I know you're going to have a wonderful time. So it will be great. And Connie also said, I bet a grocery store would deliver to the hotel. Yes, they probably would. So much of that happens these days. So Tiffany says, Tammy, I think one of our mutual friends going to the conference will have her car. We'll check to see when she's arriving. I thought it was on Thursday. I do know who you're talking about, Tiffany. And Tom and I were just talking about that this morning, that she's probably driving. So that's great.
Hi, St. Henry. If you go to nutmegnotebook.com and click on courses, our courses, there's two of them on there right now. They both have little free introductions that tell you what's in the course. So you can assess for free whether it's something you would be interested in or not.
Yes. So one is our batch cooking course, and one is our beautiful chopped salad courses. And batch cooking is making more food than you can eat in a day or a meal. And those two things, the chopped salads, batch prepping our chopped salads and having chopped salads every day, and batch cooking for the week, is what makes this lifestyle easy for us. This is what works really well for Tom and I, and so much so that we decided to make courses about them, because we just got so many questions all the time about them. So
the internet police are going to come after us. We're an hour and a half into our conversation here.
Connie says, what was your favorite part of the Greece cruise? I'm going this October. Gosh,
you know
Connie,
what?
Everything.
Everything was amazing. The big surprise was the Minoans. We went to an island where the Minoan Empire was built, and they were the first ones that had navigation, and it predates the Greeks. there's only one little tablet of text on it, and nobody's been able to decipher it because they're, so ancient. Like they were way ahead of the Egyptians. So anyway, the whole Mediterranean, the magic of navigation using the stars, is what allowed that area to flourish and become the center of the world for centuries.
Just all the history there was just amazing. So we took all the historical tours that we could, and we did go a day or two early so that we could tour around Athens. Yeah. And we did hire Lisa was able to get us a tour guide there. So we did a walking tour. We had a guide that went with us for, was it a half a day or most of the day? And she took us, we walked all around Athens. We went to the museum. We went to the just Parthenon. Yeah. We just went everywhere with her. The theaters. Yeah. Yeah. The changing of the guards, just everything.
We went to that
amazing.
hospital location on the one island, where Hippocrates, the actual hospital of Hippocrates. Yeah. From the guy that wrote the Hippocratic Oath. We went to his hospital, and we sat in this theater thing on the chairs are still there because they got covered with the earth, and then they excavated them. So we sat in exactly the same chairs that these guys used to sit in, and it was a whole like health and wellness center with spas and kitchens and lodging. It was like going to Rancho La Puerto or to True North or whatever. To get your health restored, because they believed in a holistic
approach to health. Yeah.
So
it was mind, body, and soul.
Yeah. So and then the art, all of the stone carvings. It's just it's mind numbing. It's so unbelievably, the detail and the beauty is just mind numbing.
Yeah, I was going to say, and it was just beautiful as well. Just the islands were. Amazing, and the views were just incredible. And
yeah, I think there's a Nutmeg Notebook video. If you Google Nutmeg Notebook Greece, there's probably a live we did where I showed just a really short kind of slideshow of the highlights of our trip. So I
don't remember doing that.
I think I put a few in the
We interviewed the chef, but I don't know if we showed pictures or not.
On one of our lives when we got back, I think we showed like the part. We probably showed maybe a half a dozen slides or so.
Okay, I don't know. I don't remember doing that.
I'm gonna Nutmeg Notebook Greece. I'm gonna Google it.
You try that, honey.
Okay, so anyway, email us. Get back to us if that's going on the cruise is an interest.
Let us know if you'd be interested in going on the Nutmeg Notebook /NHA cruise February 3rd through the 10th of 2024. We do have to let Lisa know by June. Yeah. By the conference, if that's a for sure go. And it would be so much fun to travel with like-minded people.
I do want to tell Connie, be sure and go to the museum down on the ground. You've got the Parthenon and all that stuff up high on the mesa, but there's a huge museum that has all of the stuff in it from the Parthenon. Yeah. And so that is an amazing experience to go into that
and I really
museum in Athens.
It was well worth the money to have a guided tour that day. The people who do those for the particular company that Lisa used, they study for 4 years, I believe she said, to learn all of the correct history. And she was just a wealth of knowledge. She just, everywhere we went, she could tell us about everything. She took us through the museum, which was also very helpful because, she just walked us through everything. Yeah. And so I would highly recommend doing that, because then you don't have to worry about how to get to places. And she just walked us everywhere, and it was fabulous. Yeah. That was a really wonderful trip. Yep. A lot of fun. Okay, I think we... Marguerite Callahan says, where's the cruise going? And it is going, we start in Costa Rica, and then we go to Panama, and we go through the Panama Canal, And so we're very
Yeah.
excited.
And so this one's not listed on the NHA site, but if you go to NHA or healthscience.org and click on events and go down and find the cruises, it is going to be an identical of the one that starts in northern Costa Rica, comes down the coast, and then goes through the canal from the Pacific over to the Gulf. That's the one that we would be doing as an add-on. So, so you can get the details there of what it will be. Okay.
Right.
All right.
Okay. So if you're interested, email Tami, Tami at nutmegnotebook.com, and in the subject put Cruise 2024.
Okay.
That way it'll pop out, because we get hundreds of emails every day, and so that would really help that pop out for us.
Okay.
All right, I think that's everything. I want to thank Jesse and Tiffany. Tiffany had to leave to go get the teenagers. Jesse, Tiffany, thank you so much for moderating, answering all the questions, putting in all the links. We appreciate you guys so much. Jesse just put the link in for ordering the magazine. Thank you for doing that. And it's been a pleasure. We hope you all have a beautiful week. We will be back here next Wednesday, also at 3 o'clock. And I'm Tami.
And I'm Tom.
And we help you
Get healthy and stay healthy, one meal at a time. Bye-bye.
Bye.